Here we go.
Yes, people. What's going on? It's another episode of Vibes from the Six. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about Liverpool signing Dominik Szoboszlai. We're going to be talking about Tottenham signing James Maddison. Manchester City getting Kovacic over the line. Mason Mount is going to be a Red, joining Manchester United. And of course, we'll bury the Arsenal talk for the end. As of course, we talk about Arsenal every day on the show. But Timber is getting close. Declan Rice is signed. And Kai Havertz is already a Gooner. Let me know how you guys are doing today. Let me know where you're watching from. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. And of course, we'll also be on Spotify. So check us out on Spotify, Eagle Talks Football. But before we go any further, I got Nobbins in the building, Manchester City fan. We didn't think the Declan Rice deal would be done by this point. So I thought we'd still be arguing over who he's going to come to. But it's done. But we can at least talk about some of the transfers. Big up, Nobbins. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. A little bit disheartened by the whole Declan Rice saga. But hey, we're out here. I'm doing good.
There you go. Ram is excited as a Liverpool fan, finally has something to talk about as his team have just signed a player and you are buzzing. I can tell that you're buzzing. You even asked me to set up some web pages for you. But I guess that's where we have to start, right? Should we just start with Dominik Szoboszlai news?
No, I'll let Staffy and Jay come along because they had a lot of things to say in the group chat. So I'm gonna let them. We'll let it simmer again. We'll let it simmer. It's nice to actually have something to say in these streams because Nobbins, I don't know if you know, literally I've been on these streams making up the numbers, trying to instigate many people, trying to start fights. That was literally my job.
Well, that's my job today.
But now I get to talk about my team. Get to talk about this sick player that we got. Igal.
You're gassed. Thank you say you're gassed. You know what? Everyone's kind of happy except for Staffy. We don't know where Staffy is. Jay is going to be joining us. Jay, if you guys don't remember, he got into a big fight with Kendall over Szoboszlai joining Newcastle instead of and them not wanting James Maddison. So I wonder what Kendall's thinking right now.
I wish Kendall came on, man.
Big up Kendall. But big up everyone in the chat. I guess we'll start with Manchester City as you guys have signed a player. You were one of the first teams to sign a player. You got Kovacic over the line. How are you feeling about that signing? And you know what? I haven't really gotten a Man City's perspective on Kovacic. Mostly Hamza just yelling about Declan Rice coming to Arsenal. But I mean, not going to Arsenal and going to Man City. But yeah, maybe we can touch on that also. But take it away. How are you feeling?
Yeah, so I think I've said before that I like the Kovacic signing. I think it's fine. He's a good player. I think probably one of the reasons why he has been brought in for City is because he can play a number of different positions and roles. He's not just limited, being an 8 or whatever. He can sometimes, play as a 6 as well. Maybe not to the same level as Gundogan, but his skill set is still there. So he's more of a utility player, I think. Adds to the depth, which is always a nice thing. Because I feel like last season, Pep didn't actually play that many different players in the midfield, so it's always good to have a different and varying options there. And as I say, options and utility. But we need more. Hence why we were so heavily linked with Declan Rice. Good in isolation, Gundogan out, and Kovacic in is a downgrade in terms of the quality of the players. Like Gundogan just is a better player. He can do more. And has been doing it more, obviously, at City in a Pep system. So I'm happy with it in principle, as long as there is another signing to come. Now I don't know whether that's going to be another midfielder. We were, obviously looking at Bellingham and Rice. Neither of those two happened. Or maybe this is the season where Pep just doubles down on the idea of Foden being a central player, and we actually go out and get a wide player instead. But yeah, so either another midfield signing along with Kovacic and a winger would be lovely. But yeah, in principle, I'm very happy with the signing.
I'm just wondering, Kovacic, I don't view him as somebody who actually gets you goals or assists. And I'm pretty sure Pep wouldn't just expect him to develop that type of game right away. So what do you think? How do you guys think you're going to utilize him as an option off the bench? Because he can't be a direct replacement? You just said it.
Yeah, exactly. Now there is maybe a hope that he can add more goals to his game. Like, I think of like Gundogan. I don't know what his goal record exactly was at Dortmund, but even in the early days at City, he wasn't really renowned for scoring goals, but then he was able to add it to his game at a later date, and he obviously scores goals for fun more recently. So it maybe could be something that could be added. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't see him. If everyone is fully fit, I don't see him being a starter. Personally, I think that he will be a squad player in general, a depth player, someone to come off the bench, as you say, rather than like someone who's going to be starting in the biggest, most important games. But if you're fighting on all four fronts, as City like to do, then you do need to have players off the bench who are more than capable of coming on and controlling games and all that sort of stuff. So maybe goals isn't his strongest point, but he offers a lot of other things. He'll probably help us control games, as Pep likes to do. And to be fair, we do have a lot of goals from other players as well. So it's not the end of the world.
You know what? Just before we go into any other transfers, does anybody else have anything to say on Kovacic? Because I know some of the boys are out. Staffy or Ram, you have anything to say on Kovacic to Man City, or you want to just move on to the next topic? Because I feel like there's not too much to actually say on the Kovacic.
No, I think it's a pretty safe signing.
It is a very shrewd signing. That's
and
the
they got a
best
good
way
deal.
to describe it.
They got a good deal. Chelsea gave him to you for 25 mil plus 5 million add-on.
Yeah, a player of that quality, if they're available, then and they can do a job in the system, and they can, especially if we've lost a player who was an 8 and this guy can play as an 8, it makes sense to sign him. Yeah, I'm more than happy with it.
A solid player that could replace the shoes of a big player. That's how I see it. He's incredibly versatile. Like Nobin said, he's done pretty well in the Premier League. Many Chelsea fans have rated him quite highly. Some, I'd argue, have rated him a bit too highly, but he's still a quality player. And
big up, John.
You're gonna you have to replace someone that has that similar amount of experience as Gundogan, and you can't get any better than Kovacic, in my opinion. For a very good deal.
You got anything to say on Kovacic before we move on?
Good signing. They got the best signing coming out of Chelsea from the three midfielders that left. So they got the best deal, best value for money, arguably the best player as well. So great signing for them. Nothing new. City's been making great signings for years. So just regular day for them in the office.
And Jay, I don't know if you're there, but let me know when you're available. Because I was either gonna move the conversation on, but I didn't know if you had anything to add on the Kovacic thing. We're not done with Man City though, Nubbins, because there is one more major thing that you guys are gonna try to pull off before the window ends. This deal right here. Now, this segues us perfectly to the Szoboszlai conversation because he's also an RB Leipzig player. But I'm seeing Man City fans are saying stuff like this makes it easier for us to get the Szoboszlai deal. And then I'm also seeing other people getting upset saying this is going to ruin us. Now it's going to be 10 times harder to get the deal done because of Liverpool paying them 70 million euros for their guy. But it looks like Leipzig are trying to sell a bunch of their players. Nkunku for 60 million to Chelsea, Szoboszlai for 70 million to Liverpool, and apparently 100 million. Sorry, Staffy, could you just mute your mic? It's just I'm picking up noises. But yeah, Szoboszlai for 70 million, and Gvardiol could go for upwards of 100 million euros. Talk to me about this potential signing, and what do you think about the center half? Is he obviously nobody's worth 100 million based on, but the 90 million is the new 60.
Yeah, I've basically wanted Gvardiol ever since we permanently swapped to the system that we're doing now with the 3-2 in the build up, and then with like basically playing four centre halves in the team. Because I was looking at, if Ake, because Ake was so important to us this season, I was just like looking, like what if Ake needs a rest or rotation, or can you even get an upgrade in that position? And like Akanji did come in and play that position really well, but it's not the ideal solution. The ideal player you want is someone is obviously centre half, who's also capable of playing left back, and who is also left-footed, and is also very comfortable in the wide areas. And this is why Laporte has barely played this season since we changed to the this new system, because whilst I think Laporte is fantastic, the issue is that he doesn't really like to defend those wide areas. He's not really comfortable there. But Gvardiol does actually play at Leipzig in possession with a back three, and he's normally in that left centre half slot. So he's literally the perfect combination of Ake and Laporte, I'd say. He's also obviously very young. We all saw how good he was at the World Cup. I know he got spun by Messi, but it is Messi, to be fair. So exactly, yes. But we also saw how good he was at the World Cup as well. Young, so he's got, like however many years to develop and get even better. And he's definitely going to be the most expensive defender in the world. He only signed a contract extension last year, so he's got like 4 or 5 years on the contract or something. So yeah, he's going to be like around 100 million, I'd say. But yeah, I think that there's not many players who could, on paper at least, because I think he'll have to prove himself. He won't just like get in straight away.
He's 21 years old, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, but how we doing, boys? I was just gonna say, like, the Gvardiol deal, like,
is he worth 100 million?
Well, I think it's relative because you're paying for his like it's like, think of it like the NBA, like, and when they get like, when you draft like the first rounder or something, you're paying for his attributes, his skill set, and what the ceiling can be with that kind of player, So I get it. For me, it's more like Laporte. Now he wants to go. City clearly are happy to let him go, but then there's a fee issue here with Laporte, because what City want for him and what's reasonable, I don't think anybody really wants to pay that for Laporte at the moment. And it's kind of like a Bernardo situation, like a bit of a Mexican standoff. We know the player wants to leave. We know the player will be professional and play well if they don't get the move. But then Gvardiol, there's no spot if Laporte doesn't leave. So in as much as we're talking Gvardiol to City, he doesn't move until Laporte moves. And I've not seen the interest yet in Laporte that I'm like,
interested in him.
Say again?
Tottenham are interested in him.
We like, I'd like to think we've turned over a new leaf and we're moving forward, and we're picking data-driven, intelligent signings. If we drop £50 million on 29-year-old Laporte, then I'll know that we're not, like, that's not a serious transfer for us. Like,
but he would be your second best center back.
It's not about being. It's like, it's almost like we want to be finding our Salibas, our Gabriels, those kind of players who can be with the team for the next 3, 4, 5 years. Laporte's a very good defender. He's had a few niggles and knocks. Obviously, he's part of a rotation of very good centre backs at Man City. So it's one of those where obviously he's got quality and he would add a huge value to any team. Who wants to pay £50 million for him, though?
I don't think the Gvardiol deal is contingent on Laporte leaving, by the way. I don't think they're related.
You don't think so?
Oh, really?
For me, I look at your squads and you've got a full squad. And so if I'm looking at, like, okay, let's say Laporte doesn't leave, then you've still got Ake. You've got a Kanji that's played left back as well. You've still got to deal with what's happening with Cancelo. Let's assume he's leaving. So you've got Laporte too. So it's almost like you've got 3 players there that played left centre back / left back for you last season. So for me to add a 4th without one of those 3 leaving is a lot. So that's why I feel like maybe you'll do the deal, but maybe he won't come in until that space is there. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't think he goes anywhere else apart from City. Is it inconceivable he stays another year at Leipzig if it doesn't happen?
You know what? I just think it's a situation where he's destined to go there, and I don't think anyone else is actually rivaling Man City to the level where Man City are willing to go for this player. Like, similar to how Arsenal were willing to pay more for Declan Rice, I don't think anyone's going to pay the type of money Man City is willing to pay for Gvardiol. Has anyone else been seriously linked to him for that kind of money?
I don't think so, and I think part of the reason why is because he is so perfect for our current system. I think I don't know where else he would slot in so seamlessly. So like, I think it just makes sense for both parties, and And just touching on Laporte again, like I think we've got to remember that we are now playing with 4 centre backs. So in an ideal world, City would like to have, like 6, 7, 8 good choices, across that back 4 to be competitive and have enough bodies in there, like when we get further down the line in terms of the season and stuff. So, but also, even if Laporte doesn't leave for whatever reason, I don't think City are going to go, oh, now we can't sign Gvardiol. I think they're not going to complain about having too many players rather than
the players who are sat on the bench might though.
I mean, they might, but Laporte already wants to leave, so it's not like you can like make him even more annoyed because he wants to leave anyway.
I think we've made Ram wait way too long before he jumps in. But Staffy, did you have something to say on Gvardiol before we switch over the topic?
No, not really. I mean, he's an amazing player. Unfortunately, no one else is in for defenders right now other than City. They kind of got, I wouldn't say they got lucky, but it kind of like did work out in their favor that this is not a defender's market. When you look at all the teams, most teams are looking for midfielders, if you're being really honest, and goalkeepers. No one is really looking for a defender, which makes it easier for them. Not they would have needed it. I mean, they have a good project that they're selling every summer anyways, but it just so helps that they don't have to go into so many bidding wars to get him. So it's going to be another amazing signing for them. I'm sounding like a Man City fan today, praising him. I'm looking at Nubbins. Every time I say Nubbins, I look at Nubbins. Nubbins is smiling. He's like, that's my guy.
We're going to convert you, yeah.
But no, great player.
There's nothing wrong with putting rivalry aside and having real football conversations. That's what
Staffy's my boy.
Gotta take off my hat sometimes,
Yeah,
I don't mean my New York hat. I mean my Man United hat, and just like.
I have a feeling that won't continue throughout the rest of this show.
You know what? I'll actually surprise you, Ram. You don't know that.
Big up Daniel in the chat. He's a moderator. He's a Man City fan, and he's one of my guys. I always see him on Twitter and YouTube. Big up to Daniel. He's saying Gvardiol is a top talent. I hope we get it done. He said personal terms have been agreed. He's not worth 100 million in my opinion, but in the market, it makes sense. He said Kovacic is a bargain.
The thing is, Egal, right?
And you know what? He also agrees with Zayn. He said Walker would not be leaving to what?
He's too valuable
in terms of quality and experience for City. Do you think Walker doesn't leave?
I hope he doesn't because I love Kyle. And he's got sort of like a sort of
neighbor, the way you call him Kyle.
Well, I call most of the City players by their first name. To be fair, because like
dinner with them.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I wish. He's also like a very not only like in terms of like being a leader and all that stuff. Like that was that whole speech he made. Even though he didn't start the Champions League, finally he made like a really rousing speech. That sort of thing. He's also a very special use defender. Like you think of like Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe, like he can like clamp them down. Not many players can do that. So I really hope he stays, even if we aren't, even if Pep's decided that he doesn't need fullbacks anymore.
Okay, fair enough. Now, since we were talking about a Leipzig player, it's only right that we now talk about another Leipzig player. And if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, where have you been for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 hours? It started off with David Ornstein reporting that it's close and that reports that they might be triggering the release clause. But now, full circle, a couple of hours later, Liverpool have officially made another signing this window. First, it was McAllister. Now it's Dominik Szoboszlai. They have triggered the release clause for Dominik Szoboszlai. And here we go. Liverpool understand to have signed RB Leipzig's Dominik Szoboszlai. The information are Liverpool have triggered the release clause. 70 million euros, done deal. He'll sign soon. Personal terms have been agreed. Szoboszlai is ready to have his medical and everything done. To me, it just seems like they're waiting for the financial calendar year to be over for them to spend the money on Szoboszlai. Yeah. So they're because if anyone doesn't know, starting tomorrow, it's officially a new calendar year in the footballing world. So financially, everything goes to zero, or not zero, but like you know what I mean. Your first
it's a new fiscal year, yes. It resets, perfect. Yeah,
it resets. So that's why I feel like they did it at this point, and triggering it now basically gets into effect tomorrow. So yeah, it's a great signing. I wanted him at Arsenal. I think a couple Januaries ago, 2020, before we got Odegaard on loan, we were linked to him. He ended up going to Leipzig for 21 million. So they made a good profit. And yeah, I think it's only right we throw it over to Ram. How you feeling?
Hold on, Ryan. Before you go, though, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you get your thing, but we have 150 people watching, and we're not even at 50 likes. Like, please, at least get us to 100 likes, because Ram is about to like glorify this new signing that just had. This guy couldn't wait to talk to me about it. He messaged me in the AM. He forgot that I live in a different world than him, trying to wake me up to talk about his signing. So at least get us to 100 likes before Ram starts going on. But go ahead, man.
And you know what, Ram? Just whenever you're ready to go to the SofaScore page, let me know because I have it ready.
Nah, that SofaScore thing is just to see if anyone has any doubts about where he's going to play. But Igal. I was begging Liverpool to sign someone. I was hoping they actually do something in the market. All this Thuram news, Kone, Lavia. But all of a sudden, last night, David Ornstein put out Liverpool were monitoring Dominik Szoboszlai. And I was like, look, it's monitoring. They're not going to do anything about it. We just have to wait and see what happens. Then 9 o'clock this morning, 9 o'clock this morning, what did I see? Liverpool are in advanced talks with RB Leipzig to sign Dominik Szoboszlai. Igal. I've talked about this guy for quite a bit of time. You know me, Igal. I like my German football. I like to look at some of the best young players coming out. And obviously, RB Salzburg, we played them a couple of times. He was one of the players that played against us. And I was like, this guy's a pretty decent player. Have a look at him. If you want a little rundown of what he's good at, he's incredibly good at shooting. He's a very good passer. He has a very good work rate. He's very good at set pieces. So
dribbling. Like a dribbling.
Yeah, dribbling, set pieces. Imagine him, Trent, and McAllister all stepping up, picking between each other. Who's going to take the free kick? Like, Igal, this is something that I didn't think Liverpool were going to do because of the price. But they surprised me. They surprised me in a good way. I am very, very content with this signing. And we talk about how poor Henderson's been this season, especially in that right centre mid role. And if you want, you can bring up the SofaScore thing right now. The reason why we struggled in the last couple of games of the season was because teams allowed Henderson to get on the ball and see what he's all about. And guess what? He didn't really do anything about it. And then I was like to myself, imagine we actually had someone who was technically gifted and has the vision to create stuff from thin air. And this is the kind of guy that I was thinking about. He already plays as a right attacking midfielder for RB Leipzig because they play a 4-2-2 formation. And look, man, he's only 22 years old. We haven't even touched the precipice of how good this guy could be. He could be even better than what I've seen, and even better. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's all about, man. Today's been a good day. Today has been a very, very good day. I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
You know what? I think with that, I don't want to ruin your mood. I'm just gonna say this: Szoboszlai is a quality signing. You guys paid 70 million euros.
Let me.
A lot of money.
Igal, let me talk to them because
I've been waiting for this.
Let me talk.
because the thing is that like I was in a chat before and it's funny because like Liverpool have bought this player. Now, for me, I look at what Liverpool lacked last season. How many goals did you concede last season? How many goals did you concede?
Let me get up for you.
Thank you. I'd appreciate this because
Liverpool are cooking, my guy says.
Well, see, now, are they cooking or are they continually misprofiling what they need?
We conceded 47 goals last season.
47 goals last season. So for me, you can look at the team and Trent's inverted. So on the one hand, there's a team's going to wise up to what you guys are doing. Like you sprung it on them late last season. Okay. Yeah. Let's see the new tactics. Secondly, it's like I started looking at your players. So you say Nunes, Gakpo, and let's say Szoboszlai and McAllister. Okay, let's put those four on the table now. Yeah. So Now, Núñez, you can argue he's not the atypical Liverpool striker, what Klopp wants to play. Maybe he's going to grow into it, yada, yada. But then you get Gakpo. Now, Gakpo's best position is arguably as a striker. And now Jota's best position is arguably as a striker. Now, you've also got Núñez, whose his best position is as a striker. So now all of a sudden, we've got multiple people in the same position. And now look at your left centre mids. So Thiago is best in the left centre mid. McAllister is best in the left centre mid. And I'm gonna think that Szoboszlai, when you look at his angles and you look at how he can take the ball,
I know what you're doing, and it's wrong.
And you look at how he runs.
It's
his
wrong.
best position.
No, it's not.
Also,
Let him land. Let him land.
No, because there's so much turbulence right now. He needs to stop flying the plane.
No. Same way that Liverpool thought Gakpo was going to be a winger. Yeah, you can. The logic is there for him to play right centre mid. Yeah, but the thing is that in the Premier League, where systems are better, tactics are better, pressing is better, the pace is faster. If you're not able to get off favorable traits, it's going to be tough for him on that side. And you're going to end up saying, like, let's move him to the other side because that's where we're going to get the best out of him. You've also got how much of a creative role are you going to give him? So this guy is going to be best utilized as a creator. You know, get him on the ball, get him creating stuff, get him have the team tick. But Trent also occupies that role. You don't need two playmakers, really. Do you know what I mean? So again, now
you could have enough playmakers, in my opinion. I don't know what you're talking about.
You always have the dictator.
Nah, I don't think he's used to having so many playmakers in his team, man.
It's a good point. But what I'm trying to say is that, like,
let me just stop you 1 second.
Go on.
How many playmakers do Man City have, Nobbins?
KDB's the primary. He's the
not enough
the ball and make things happen.
Paul needs to up his game.
Trying to say is, like, you have different players. It's just the point of reference. Trent is the point of reference for a lot of what Liverpool do. I'm saying if you have two players, one person has to be submissive to the other. But I'm saying with a £70 million player, you want him to be doing that dictation. I just think there's a couple of things that, like, off the ball, there's a couple of things that Liverpool aren't improving. He's a good signing. He's a good player.
What about this point right here? Because I thought you were gonna go here right away. Jay was right about the top 6 pull over Newcastle.
But can I answer this? Can I answer this? About the Newcastle thing, someone said this to me. Big up. I think it might have been either Kurdish or Lila from the Spaces on Twitter. I think one of them told me that Newcastle couldn't afford to buy Szoboszlai because of the FFP rules, because they've already spent a lot of money on Sandro Tonali. I think 80 million euros, Staffy.
75 million.
75 million, along with wages. They've also spent a lot of money the last season because they spent it on Botman, Gordon, Isak, and players like that. I don't think they could have afforded to pay that much money for Dominik Szoboszlai. Think about it, £60 million. They already take their overall budget up to about 500, just over 500 million pounds. Like, it wasn't feasible for them to do it. And think about it, they are looking to sign more players this summer, so they might have been like, I can't do it. But also, there have been so many reports. Szoboszlai said he would only move to teams that were, if there was a moment where Pep Guardiola, Mourinho, or Klopp asked him to come along, he'll say yes straight away. And obviously, Klopp is Liverpool manager. So when Klopp said he was coming along, he said yes. So that's how it is. And
I understand, bro. Come on, man. You don't even need. Brendan Rodgers could swoop from Leipzig. You don't need to reference.
No, I'm just going off what he's saying, man. I'm just going off what he's saying.
Okay, all right.
He said.
You're very. I can see you're very happy with this signing. May I ask you this question? With this signing and with McAllister right now, okay, centre back pending. Let's say maybe you'll get a centre back, but let's say with the current squad that you have now, have you done enough to get back to where you were? Have you done enough to get back above Arsenal?
Hell no.
So what do you need then? Then what do you need?
We need a centre mid / DM and a centre back. And then I'll happily say Man City. We're going to try and challenge you.
You've got 9. But you've got 9 midfielders. How can you really think you're going to get another DM now?
It's called rotation. It's called
9 midfielders.
Who do you have in the midfield?
So we've got Thiago, Fabinho, Henderson, Szoboszlai, and McAllister now. Bajcetic, Jones,
Elliot.
And Elliot. But I don't want Elliot to play as a centre midfielder. I'd rather.
A legitimate 9, not even like all of these 9 players.
But I can then.
To be honest, how many of them are defensive? Which is what Ram said.
But that's not the point. Thiago's injury prone as hell. Elliot, I'm still not convinced with. Curtis Jones is a very good squad player. That's 3 out of the 9 and Bajcetic is a kid. That's 4 out of the 9 that is basically, I'd say, I can't rely on.
Well, that's still these 5. That's all I'm trying to say is that
5 out of a possible 4.
Okay, you can bring it.
Let me just stop you guys right now. 1 second. Big up everyone in the comment section. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I just want to ask the man who's actually the league title holder to think what he thinks about who's closer to catching him now.
We're back to pointing the wrong way again, ago.
Okay, yeah. He's over here, right?
You put it at Jay and he said the title holder. I was wrong one.
No,
hey, listen, let Ange cook. Let Ange cook.
Remember, I have my screen inverted, but I didn't realize it's actually messing up everything on this side.
Yeah, let's not point at all.
So Nobbins, take it away. What are you thinking?
In terms of like who's a bigger threat, Arsenal or Liverpool?
Liverpool have now signed McAllister and Dominik Szoboszlai. Arsenal have signed Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and I would honestly, if you're gonna count Szoboszlai, you might as well count Timber because the fees have been agreed for both. So what do you think? So far, the 2 transfer windows, who do you think's making that gain to get closer to you?
Yeah, sure. I think Ram said it. I agree. I think there does need to be another defensive midfield option. I don't know if we said it, but I think there needs to be another centre half option as well. Now, if Liverpool can bring in those 2 players, that of a sufficient quality, and let's say another player in another area, I'm sure Ram will know better than me, where he thinks they should strengthen. And I would always back Klopp's Liverpool over Arteta's Arsenal in terms of like a challenging City. However, as things stand, we're only on the 30th of June and Arsenal's transfer activity has been much more impressive, and based on last season, they're obviously much closer to being a finished article than Liverpool, who are coming off a season where they've had their worst season in 7 years. So it's totally dependent on transfers, to be honest. And just on this one, Szoboszlai, probably butchered his name, but whatever. Ram, I'm interested to hear what you think, because I don't watch Leipzig. I don't really know anything about this player, but it sounds like he's more of an attacking player who you suspect is going to be on the right side of the centre of midfield. So how do you, I don't know, so I'm asking, how do you see that the whole dynamic of Trent being the right back? I personally think is defensive liability. I know playing a 3-2 now, maybe it's an irrelevant point. With Szoboszlai being obviously a much more offensive player than, say, Jordan Henderson, Henderson was so good at shuffling in that space that Trent would vacate and covering for him defensively, basically. Do you see that right side now being a defensive frailty, or do you think it's not relevant?
And Nobbins, that's why I want a left-sided centre-back. That's why I need a left-sided centre-back, because I am happy to have Konate be that right-sided centre-back. But for now, at this moment, it seems as though Konate is playing as a right-back and a right-sided centre-back, and Van Dijk's almost playing as a left-sided centre-back, and Robbo is doing his usual marauding up and down the left-hand side of the field. If it comes to the start of the season and I have someone in like an Inacio, or I'm not a massive fan of him, but Mickey van der Ven, I know he's linked with Tottenham, I would be okay with it. I think I'd be more happy if it was Inacio being that left-sided centre-back. He's not my first choice, but for me, the way I only see it, Szoboszlai will be incredible for us, and we can see the absolute best of him is where we have a left-sided centre-back to give that team that overall balance that it needs. Because look, Robbo is a stalwart and he does whatever is necessary for the team, but he is a liability when it comes to being a centre-back because he's not a centre-back. So that's the way I see it. I think if you're looking at it from just a midfield perspective on its own and the way we play, if you look at the last 10 games of the season, Henderson wasn't really doing that much covering compared to what he usually did. Because he was used more of an advanced midfielder, really occupying the centre backs and the defenders and making sure that Trent has as much room as possible to dictate play. He didn't really do that much defending. And I'm thinking to myself, if he has, and especially when I was thinking of the Aston Villa game, because he has that time on the ball and people were saying, do something with it, and he didn't really do anything with it. I think to myself, swapping with Szoboszlai, I think is a completely different story. I think defenders would be a lot more scared if they drop off and let him do what he can do, because he's got a very good cross accuracy. I think he's got one of the best in terms of the overall team in Leipzig. And his just overall technical ability. I like to say this, I like to coin this from NBA 2K. He has that takeover gene inside of me. The thing that Coutinho has.
Take over a game.
Yeah, he could just take over. Like Steph Curry, whenever he's ready to take on every single free available. He has that gene in him.
Take over the game. I was just gonna say this though. How do you feel about the Kevin De Bruyne comparisons already?
The guy hasn't even stuck the foot in the team.
I think it's cheeky. I think it's cheeky. Like what De
Bruyne.
Listen,
the comparisons are actually from.
Who's comparing them? Which sick Liverpool fans are comparing them?
Originally, it was Bundesliga pundits that were comparing him, because obviously De Bruyne played for Wolfsburg, so they obviously know him quite well.
As bad as their league.
They're comparing players that he's similar to. They're not saying
he might play in a similar manner.
Okay, I understand that. You can make comparisons in terms of the profile, but if they're comparing quality he might live up to it. He does look like a very good player. I'm just not gonna say anything. Now, come on, Jay. Let's be very honest. When De Bruyne was in Wolfsburg in the German league, I remember when he got bought by City.
He looked a better player than
he looked good, but a lot of people said it was a crazy signing and they overpaid for him. And look at him now, all these years later.
62 appearances, 12 goals, 13 assists. They don't have end product at Liverpool in their midfield. This is a game changer for them.
And remember, you think about what he was at Wolfsburg. He was the main creator at Wolfsburg. At Leipzig is a lot more different, because obviously you got Nkunku, Dani Olmo. You got so many different available people that is available, like Emil Forsberg. They got so many creators. They have to share the load. That's why it doesn't seem as high as what Kevin De Bruyne was.
But it's also skill set wise, as in like from a skill set point of view. I don't see him having quite the same skill set. He's not his creativity isn't on the same level as KDB. His vision isn't. I'll
say this, Jay. When he was at Wolfsburg, there wasn't that much of a
even KDB at Wolfsburg, KDB at Werder Bremen was better than Szoboszlai. Let's not
do that.
I don't know how old you are, so I don't even know how old you were.
I started watching Bundesliga when KDB was at Werder Bremen.
No, even at Werder Bremen,
I knew about him.
Graham wasn't a kid 6 years ago.
No, because Werder Bremen is how he got the move to Chelsea. Yeah,
he was already at Chelsea when he went to Werder Bremen.
No.
What are we arguing over? I'm so confused.
Right. So basically, I'm saying that what KDB did and showed, I think, is at a higher level.
What he did at Werder Bremen, let's not forget, was ridiculous.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I know firsthand what he's done. I know all about Werder Bremen. I know how shit they are right now.
But that's what I'm saying. Guys, we can't compare them.
But I feel like it's very disingenuous to say that.
Got 20 assists in 2014-15 season.
He's not of that level. He's not of that KDB
level. It's not. You're missing the point.
I'm telling you, even KDB's pedigree at when he was 22, 20, I don't think he's of that pedigree. I think he's a very good player, but KDB's a special player. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think he's of that level.
Are we comparing quality or play style though?
No, I'm see, even from an aesthetic point of view, KDB is much more of a doer. Yeah, he's go and look at Szoboszlai's open play assist record. Yeah, I think 3-4 assists in open play over the last 12, 18 months. Like
was he linked to Tottenham? Did you know? Did you do your research when he was linked to Tottenham?
No, I've seen the player. I've seen him
consistently.
No, I've seen enough. Listen, I know. I'm not saying he's not a very good player. What I'm saying is, for me, when I saw KDB before he went to Chelsea, I was like, wow, this guy's special. This guy's special. So Szoboszlai is a good player. He's a very good player. He's obviously 22. This new profile of 8/10/versatile. I'm not critiquing the player. I'm just saying that KDB, if you're thinking you're going to get his level of creativity in open play and when you've got low blocks and stuff, I think you'll be surprised. I don't think
anyone expects that from him right away.
It's just
1 second. I shouldn't open the can of worms. I want to get to Staffy now so we can try to shift on and move on to the next topic quickly. But Staffy, what are you saying? Ram, come on, we gave you over 30 minutes on
Ram is so
this is big news, Igal.
How much more do you want us to talk about?
I haven't had a chance to talk in the last 50
Ram, I promise you, we'll add on more conversations on Sunday when we get more information from the
Can I say one thing about Szoboszlai?
Yeah.
Let's just say one thing.
I love how you said his name. Szoboszlai.
Is that not how you? I don't know.
I don't know, but it sounded interesting to me.
I am a Philistine
hit that like button
when it comes to Hungarian pronunciation.
The way you say his name is Szoboszlai.
Well, I'm going to say Szoboszlai because I prefer it. So you can hold that.
I like the way Nubbin said it.
Hold that, Ram.
Yeah,
I said it
going. That's how we say
it.
But yeah, so just on the whole, does he create stuff? I've never really seen him play consistently, so I'm just on a stat site right now. And to be fair to him, he is in the top 1% in respect to shot creating actions, and he's and that's not heavily inflated by a dead ball situation either. Just an FYI.
There you go.
He's in the top 8% in terms of live open play.
Wow.
Yeah, but
one second.
Right, okay, you need to watch the player as well. Just I
prefaced it by saying I've never seen him.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that the guy doesn't create shots. I'm saying the guy is not a assister in that realm to me.
I just create chances.
He's not gonna get a lot of these last passes.
Yeah, exactly. I
don't look at.
We're critiquing what the player was, and
I'm just looking at what he's adding to the team. I'm looking at the attributes and the skill set and what he's bringing. He's obviously going to be
a dynamic they haven't had since Philip Coutinho left.
Yeah, that's I can agree with. He brings something different.
That's what Maddison brings to your team since Ericsson.
He can. What he can bring is. Do you remember when they signed Oxlade-Chamberlain? Yeah, the impact that Oxlade-Chamberlain made when he first joined before he got injured.
Yeah, he did do that.
He was adding that kind of. That's how I see him adding value. Yeah, energy, skill, and
but he's technically more gifted than Oxlade-Chamberlain.
He's way better than Oxlade-Chamberlain. Oxlade-Chamberlain was
he's more technically gifted than Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Bro, Oxlade-Chamberlain, we robbed you guys, honestly. But Staffy, what you saying?
He won us trophies, man. I'm happy.
He didn't have much part.
Remy, you want to let go of the mic today? God damn. Ram is so excited, no one else can speak.
Ram,
I haven't had the mic for the last 50
I don't know if you guys know. Ram literally put the Ted meme. He's like, go ahead.
No, he's a good player, bro. Even though I was trolling Ram in the chat saying, what did you call him, Jay? The
Hungarian Sigurdsson.
What?
It was a very good reference.
You're not allowed to say that name anymore.
Why? He's coming to the MLS.
The thing is, Staffy, it's actually a really accurate comparison.
No, it's not.
Ram, it's a joke. It's a joke. Let's not go back there. It's a joke. Wallahi, it's a joke.
Hold on. I'm just saying. Do you not remember Swansea Sigurdsson?
Jay, please. let's continue to change the topic.
What,
Staffy,
man?
Yes, we can't go back. We can't go back.
Staffy, you
I'm
want to
actually-
have a straight?
we're talking
One
about this
second,
player
one
now.
second. Do you not want to talk about your new signing? Let's try to
I don't
change.
mind.
I'm
Let's
actually
talk
trying to
about
delay
this
as
side
much
of
as
it.
I can
Let's
because I don't want to talk about him, but I'm not. Anyways, good signing. Jay made some good points when he was raising these points on how he's going to fit into that Liverpool team. I think he's more of a Thiago replacement than someone who's going to play with Thiago, if I'm being really honest. Not that Thiago's ever available. I just see that the way that midfield plays. Look at Ram, he's so shocked. I just see that the way that midfield plays, you do need someone who's going to be on that right side, who's going to cover more for Trent's defensive deficiencies, because you don't need two creators on the right side playing behind Mo Salah. It just doesn't make sense. It's very imbalanced on that right side. So I do think that there's going to be some work for Klopp to do to get these players to work together, because they're all individually good players, but I don't see how they're going to play. What do you want to say, Ram? You look so excited. Just get it out of the way.
This is not going to be about Szoboszlai. It's going to be about Jurgen Klopp. And I don't know about you guys, but judging off the kind of players and the caliber of players and the profile players that we're getting, I think there's no excuses for Jurgen Klopp not to find different systems to find the best out of his players.
100%. 100%. And this is why I want to see what he's going to do with them. Because the last time, I'm going to be very honest with you, the last time you had a midfielder that I highly rated was Gini Wijnaldum. I used to think Gini Wijnaldum was so underrated in that midfield because he was a very good midfielder that sacrificed his own game to be a very good fit for that team, because he did a lot of the running, but that guy could actually ball. Like, he was actually.
He didn't sacrifice against Barca.
Well, I was about to say that's the one game where he turned up, but that's the game you didn't have Salah, so someone needed to score. But yeah, so I'm just excited to see. Not excited, not that I give a shit about Liverpool, but I'm more interested to see how these midfielders are going to blend together, because you have McAllister, this guy right now. I don't know how to say his name yet, so I'm not even going to attempt it. So
let's call him Dom.
Oh, he's called Szoboszlai. We've established this.
Szoboszlai. Anyways, him, Thiago, and Fabinho.
You're gonna get the number 10.
It's Szoboszlai.
Nah, you can't get the number 10.
Who's the number 10?
McAllister.
Oh, true. McAllister did get it.
Szoboszlai should be the real number 10. What the hell?
Nah,
to be honest, McAllister isn't really a number 10. I like McAllister, but he's not that guy.
I think it's because he's Argentinian. He got the number. I think for me, he's gonna get the number 15.
I just find the comparisons to City so hilarious. So someone tried to say Gundogan is McAllister. Someone tried to say KDB is Szoboszlai, and they're saying Thuram is gonna be.
Don't.
Are you guys gonna even get him now, Ram? Because you did sign already 2 midfielders.
That's what I'm trying. This is what I'm trying
to
say.
Again, now that you party poopers decided to bring me back to reality,
this guy doesn't want to talk football. He just wants to celebrate one player. But when we ask the real questions, he doesn't want to talk.
Hang on.
You wanna plead the fifth, and we save that for another show?
No. I'll just say.
Let him enjoy the moment. Understand, if you don't get one more player, you're still not any closer to City.
Yeah, God, let me talk. I'll say my piece. You know me, I don't cut the crap.
You've only had 30
I say
minutes.
as it is. If we don't get a midfielder and a centre back, all this celebrating is worth nothing. What's the point in celebrating if you're not going to do everything properly? What's the point of you celebrating Declan Rice if you didn't get Kai Havertz or Jurriën Timber? That's your only signing.
It's like Chelsea. What's the point of celebrating selling all these players if you don't bring in quality players?
Okay, we didn't need that, but yeah.
I mean, there's no Chelsea reps, so that's a cheap one.
Like you said, Staffy,
no, you guys can all be Chelsea reps, because anytime I mention their name,
I don't want to represent that garbage.
Staffy, my main worry at this moment in time, and people might call me crazy for this, is not the midfield anymore. It's the defense. It's always been the defense. I've been very, very worried about it, and from the looks of things, I don't know if we're going to even get anyone, and I am very, very concerned about it.
No.
That's for another day.
I'm just going to say, let's change the topic quickly. Big up everyone in the comment section. Big up Noah. Big up Terrence Tibbs, Uncle Terrence Tibbs in the building. Mustafa always in the chat. I seen the City fans have already dipped, but big up Skills, and Daniel, of course, he's always around. But let's go now to James Maddison. Guys, James Maddison has moved from Leicester City to Tottenham Hotspur, and he had to delete some tweets before he joined. Did you hear about that story? He had to delete a
Matt
couple.
Doherty 2.0.
Listen,
Doherty
listen,
2.0.
listen.
He
Why,
had to
why,
delete some tweets.
why? I'm sure Szoboszlai has some bad tweets. You haven't
Nah,
gone and
he's
looked at his
nah,
tweets. have you?
no.
This is
Shall I tell you something,
this is
Jay?
the agenda that
No,
Tottenham
Jay,
face
seeing
on a
as though you
weekly
But
mentioned
bro,
basis.
it.
let me finish. Let me finish before before you just think it's an agenda thing. I actually rate James Maddison. I think he's a quality player. You signed yourself a good player. You got somewhat of an Ericsson replacement or somebody who finally can come in and do something to that level. He has a good right foot on him, and he definitely he can
Look
definitely.
at how you're describing my new signing. After the red carpet you rolled out for this guy. The way he has a good right foot. What are we doing
That
here?
was a compliment.
You forgot you need to wrap it in a band-aid, bro, because of how injury prone he is.
Wrap it in a band-aid, yeah.
Let me land this. Let me land this.
Okay.
I feel like Johnny Minerals. I'm trying to land the minerals. Okay. Let's I'm never gonna say that again. So I've lost track, but James Maddison is going to be a quality player for Tottenham. I don't doubt it at all.
Yeah.
I think he's a good signing. Everyone here can admit, with Szoboszlai going for 70 million, Declan Rice going for 100 million, Kai Havertz going for 60-something million, Mason Mount going for 60 million, Kovacic going for 25 million. I would say he's the second best midfield signing that's been made so far this window, based on value for money.
Who's the best?
Alistair.
Kovacic for value for money has been good.
Oh yeah, then he's third.
Yeah. So okay, yes. Yeah. So I would say,
to be fair, though, Kovacic is always injured. As much as I like him, he is always injured. So
okay, let's
know.
say McAllister and James Maddison are tied for first, right?
No.
Then you go to the actual level raisers. They haven't had a level raiser signing like this. I feel like all the other signings they've made have somewhat been like flops, all their big flop signings. So I don't see James Maddison going down that road, but hey, hopefully he does well for you guys. I like the guy. Guy, but he's retiring from winning trophies. That's the only.
Okay, all right.
You had to throw that dig in again.
It's okay because the thing with Maddison,
you'll teach Harry Kane how to win a trophy, man. Don't worry.
Okay, so first and foremost, right, Maddison I think has won a trophy more recently than Arsenal, hasn't he? I think he has. Didn't he win the FA Cup in the last few years? So there's that. Your favorite trophy.
But we won 4 of those, and you still.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's won more recently. So what have you done for me lately, Igal? Is the question.
We're gonna win the Community Shield.
We're pushing down on.
That's not a good thing, Igal. That's not a good thing.
Maddison is the best signing of all these signings in terms of so far. I think because Leicester went down, the perception of him has gone. He's lost a bit of the shine, that he would have had if Leicester had stayed up or if they'd had a slightly better season. 20 GA in the Premier League, 20 GA in the Premier League for £40 million. It doesn't get better than that. You can't. You can't buy that. That's just mad. And the fact that he's like, in terms of, you look at Mount. You look at Szoboszlai, you look at Havertz. Maddison arguably had the best season out of the 4 of them last season.
No, he didn't.
I said arguably. He had the best output of any of them. You can make the argument of who had the better season.
Okay.
Yeah. So before that, the season before, Maddison, I think definitely. Are we doing the comparisons here?
It has to be. It has to be, Jay. It has to be.
Yeah, listen. The thing is that I'm very happy about Maddison joining Spurs. I think he's, like Igal said, a big level raiser for Spurs. I think he's going to make a huge difference to the Spurs side. I just think he's not going to get the shine because it's a Spurs signing, but incredible pickup for Spurs. Like, for the price and for the fact that Spurs finishing 8th, who else could Spurs have attracted who could have the same value and impact on the team as Maddison? That there isn't really anybody that comes to mind. So huge signing. What's this? I've seen this little thing before.
Oh, I sent it.
This isn't a very, first and foremost, this isn't a great scale thing here, but
I really do like it.
It works good enough.
Nah, it's good.
It's all right. It's not. I mean, there's it doesn't take into account.
You're on mute, Igal. You're a mute.
Let me get to it. Okay, so what it is as you can see here by the nations and the ages who they are. So this is Kai Havertz. This is here Szoboszlai. Right here is Mount, and this right here is James Maddison. Right. So you can see here, Optastat Index has Szoboszlai as the highest. Ball recovery Szoboszlai. Goals is actually Maddison.
Hold on, but even with that, even with the ball recoveries, you have to take into account playing style. So obviously, with a
let me just read out who's top of the charts for each one, okay? And then you have what do you call it? Shots on target. It's what do you call it? Kai Havertz. That's actually negative because his goals are and then assists is the highest is James Maddison. Kai Havertz the lowest. Shots, chances created. Maddison and Szoboszlai are miles ahead of Mount and Kai Havertz, but we also have to look at their team. So you're right, Jay. If we look at certain things, but then through ball attempts, these things I don't really care too much about. But it's mostly just the first.
Yeah, see that cheeky fouls one as well. That fouls one for Maddison, way higher than everybody else.
He wins fouls.
Fouls one is pretty good.
That's because of how weak he is.
And ground duel success. Wow. Defensively,
he's like, but you're laughing now about these things in the Premier League. Yeah. Like, listen, in the Premier League,
he's messing with you. Just
no, Jay, I'm laughing about own dick. I said that he wins a load of fouls because of how weak he is.
Right, okay. Well, all I'm saying is that
I just wanted to hear your thoughts on James Maddison before we turn it about other people.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that for me, I think if you take those stats that we just saw, and on top of that, you throw it into the fact that he was playing for a very poor Leicester side last season, it makes those stats look even more impressive. And you think, but like exactly, somebody just mentioned Szoboszlai plays in the Bundesliga. Who's the last player? Who's the last attacker to come from the Bundesliga to the Premier League and put up numbers?
Erling Braut Haaland.
Haaland, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But in terms of a creative player, like
Kevin De Bruyne.
So that's a while now.
Roberto Firmino, arguably.
It's a while.
Leroy Sané.
Again, it's a while.
Ilkay Gundogan.
Again, it's a while.
Leroy Sané wasn't a while.
Can I stop you guys for a second?
Akanji.
This show is actually sponsored by footyfreshco, and they had the niceness to send me these car fresheners with football players on it. Would you guys not be interested in having a Harry Kane car freshener? Would you not want a Thierry Henry car freshener? You can get all these on Footy Fresh for.
Can I get a Szoboszlai one?
Reliable price. Yeah, you can. We can get this arranged. So yeah, fresh. What is it? Footy Fresh, and this is the link right there, so you can check it out. Footy Fresh. Make sure you do check it out.
If you get a City player, it smells like success.
There you go, and they're very affordable too. But yeah,
you don't want a Tottenham player, then, do you?
You know what?
I don't think Rem even has a car, but
look, Harry Kane smells like forest.
Oh wow, amazing!
Look at that.
Smells like victory.
Harry Kane smells like forest rain. Henry smells like cool water. And then what does this guy smell like? Zidane's also forest rain, so it's pretty cool.
Forest rain. Cool water.
Anyways, that's enough for the ad break. Let's continue.
Yes, Maddison. He's a good player.
He's
a good player. He's a good player. Like, I can't hate. I think my main worry of why I didn't want to get him was because of his injury record. It's not the best. But if you keep him and play a certain style of play that reduces the amount of workload he has, then I think he'll be okay. But yeah, very good signing for Tottenham. It's their first creator they've properly had since Eriksen. So kudos to you.
Mohammed Salid said terrible ad. I know, man. Let me be. I'll land it better next
time. That was a good ad. Stop. No,
let's not hate, man. Why are you hating?
No, you did well.
I liked it, yeah.
It's your first
Nobbins in the background was a good add-on. He's like, what would you say if there's a City player? You'll smell like success.
There you go, you see. And he didn't even pay me to say that.
There you go. What are you saying, Nobbins, though? Maddison.
Yeah, he's fine. I don't really have any strong opinion of it. And no offense, it is Spurs. I think Spurs is probably Maddison's level. I don't think Maddison's good enough to play for a City or someone actually challenging for a title. So no, it's good. Maddison's a fine player, and Spurs is probably his level. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Jay can't say shit.
Hey, well, listen. The thing is that
he's not.
Listen. The one thing that I can guarantee is that we beat City next season. That's the one thing I can guarantee.
That's your trophy for next year. Yeah,
that's what we got, and it's all I had. And it feels like a bit like a giant holding off a toddler at arm's length, but it's all I've got. That's why I didn't want to deliver it. But you guys made me deliver it, you know,
because nobody's laughing away with his Champions League, Premier League, and FA Cup in his hands.
I think the thing is that like I think Maddison's he's just a little bit less shy than Grealish when Grealish went City for 100 million. I think if the guy's under contract, you're not able to get him out of the club. It'll cost too much. So yeah, we'll see how. Hopefully his feeling is high.
Damn.
So, you know. We'll see.
Listen,
I'm glad to see the maturity level on this stream is at an all-time high.
Is he lying though? Gal, give that Kane a sniff right now. See if he's lying. Go on.
That's a big pause. That's a big pause.
That's so wild.
Let's be honest. Spurs got a good signing, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's not much to say at this moment in time with the James Maddison thing. That's negative. Like,
I like it. It's a good signing.
Yeah. So I feel like the conversation and the controversy has been all around the next topic, Mason Mount. And
making
it's like
money, minerals,
Staffy's blood is boiling.
I honestly
I'm cool like a cucumber right now.
I think he's come down a little bit, hopefully.
Oh, okay.
Who, me?
No, it's the
About
Onana
Mason
news
Mount. Yeah.
Onana news has calmed him down.
Yeah, big time. You want to talk about Onana first, or you want to talk about Mason Mount?
It's your show, bro. What do you want to talk about?
Okay, first I want to talk about De Gea. You guys, what?
he said you want to talk about Onana first or Matt? I said you choose. He's like, all right, I want to talk about De Gea.
I want to talk about De Gea. If you guys don't know, Manchester United gave De Gea a contract. He signed it, but then they never actually signed it. So what they did was they're now letting him leave on a free, and they're gonna bring in a new goalkeeper. Do you feel like
actually they're still trying to negotiate with him, but he's getting married this weekend. So, poor guy. All this is happening during his wedding. Like, it's so horrible.
Staffy, you better not sign Onana on his wedding day.
No,
you better not sign Onana on his wedding day.
No. De Gea's
wedding, bro.
Don't sign Onana on De Gea's wedding day.
You know what it reminded me of? I don't know if any of you guys are into wrestling, but do you remember when CM Punk got fired on his wedding years ago?
Yeah.
And that's a real, like, it wasn't like a scenario, like it wasn't a promo. He actually got fired from the WWE.
I swear a footballer got fired or got told to leave. It was left by his club on his birthday or something like that.
Might have happened.
It must have been a United player.
I mean, don't put all that shit on us. You know, not because De Gea did it doesn't mean that we always do that.
It might be Yaya Toure. Yaya
Toure had the issue with his birthday where he wasn't told happy birthday about a club. He wanted a cake or something. I don't know. Nabis probably remembers that.
What a man.
The guy has standards, you know. He just wanted a cake for his birthday and he didn't get anything. Yeah, but anyways, De Gea is out of contract. His contract ended today. They are saying Fabrizio Romano reported that they're still trying to negotiate with him a new contract. The thing is, like Igal said, he was offered a contract, he signed it, the club held off, didn't sign it yet, and then his performances dropped in the end of the season. Ten Hag thought about it and he's like, you know what, I don't really trust this guy being my number one. They withdrew that contract, and now they want to keep him as a number two option. But they want to reduce it even more. So he was already on 375. He agreed to reduce it to 200, but even 200 is too much for a backup goalkeeper. So they're apparently De Gea is open to negotiate again. So the whole thing is a mess. But when you think of Man United the past few years, the word mess has been correlated to us a lot. I'm not surprised. You know, it's just like another unfortunate situation that has to happen in this club with one of the players that I at least consider a club legend. He's been at the club for 12 years. Whether we like it or not, because he does have a lot of haters in the club. This guy holds the clean sheet record, whether we like it or not. Was he better than Schmeichel? No. Was he better than Edwin van der Sar? No. However, he still holds the record. He's like in the top 10 in appearances for Man United players. So we can spin it the way we want. We can hate him for how bad he was the past few years. This guy still gave us some good years. He gave us some of his best years. At the end of the day, he goes down as a club legend. It's unfortunate what's happening, but I just want to give him the respect he deserves just in case he leaves. Which segues to Onana, if you want me to talk about that. I am excited for that. I do think it's the right move to go for Onana regardless of what's going on with De Gea. I think of him as the best goalkeeper in the world right now. People want to say, no, he's top 3, he's top 5. It's up to you to rate him how you want. I rate him how I want. I think he's the best goalkeeper in the world right now. I think he's going to move the needle for us. We do massively lack a good goalkeeper that can build from the back, a goalkeeper who can sweep, a goalkeeper who can fill the defenders with confidence. He's absolutely what we need. The minute he comes in, forget Mason Mount, forget who we add in the midfield or in the attack. This guy comes in and we absolutely play a new style of football. The things that we can do with a different goalkeeper than David De Gea is massive. Like we just need someone. Like we need someone who, because you look at City, you look at Liverpool, even Arsenal. You know, even if you watch Inter Milan in the Champions League final, they don't have the best passers in that team, but they have a very, very good goalkeeper who can't even be pressed. Pep Guardiola came out and said, you can't press him. There's no point of pressing him because this guy is so good at passing the ball. Like, I've seen him dribble past Haaland a few times in that Champions League final. I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? He was so brave and reckless. And I love it because, like, I've had a goalkeeper for years now who's afraid to come off his line, who doesn't sweep, who doesn't command his box. So this is going to be a great signing for us if it happens. And for the price as well, 50 million, let's be honest, if this guy was in the Premier League, let's say we're buying him from, I don't know, an Aston Villa or an Everton or whoever, they would be charging us 100 mil. You know that 100%.
What about the fact that he also retired from his internationals duty, so you don't have to worry about...
Oh, I didn't even know that. I thought he did play.
You don't even have to worry about AFCON.
I mean, perfect. I swear I didn't even know that.
I forgot.
No one suffers from AFCON more than Ramp.
No, not anymore. Szoboszlai could play right wing.
No, but you were always losing Mane and Salah every 2 years.
Don't forget Keita, man. Don't forget Keita as well, man.
Yeah, as if he ever did anything in Liverpool jersey. But yeah,
there you
that's
go.
up. That's it with the Man United section.
Let's ask Nubbins what you think about the goalkeeper because he just seen this guy up front and personal. What do you think of Onana?
So just on the Champions League final bit, I thought he was very good. In the second half, I thought the first half he was a little bit haphazard, but in the second half he came into his own when his team needed him to be brave and come out. He was fantastic. So yeah, very good. If it happens, genuinely a perfect signing for what United need to become. I don't really get why this De Gea talk is being entertained. If I'm Ten Hag, I know how I want to play football. He's had a whole season of clearly seeing De Gea ain't it. He can't play that way. De Gea is to Ten Hag is what Joe Hart was to Man City.
100%.
It's like club legend, great shot stopper. Thanks for the memories, but I mean I'm surprised that De Gea wasn't trying to get out at the start of the season, but now it's happening now. So yeah, Maddison is one of our most important players. Whatever people might think about his shot stopping, he is one of our most important players in terms of like the first phase and build up and sweeping, etc. So I think Onana could be that guy for Man United as well. I think that there's obviously some work to do with the coaching. So he reminds me a bit of like an old Man United goalkeeper by the name of Fabian Barthez, who was a little bit ahead of his time in terms of like sweeping and stuff. But he was quite iconic in the respect of like, he took a lot of risks and sometimes they were unfounded. And I just wonder whether that is, I don't watch enough Onana, but I wonder if that is that maybe a bit of his game that could be coached out of him to make him a bit, still excellent at sweeping and all that stuff, but maybe less more risk averse. But yeah, this has got the potential to totally transform Man United, how they build up play, their defence, and also with a competent keeper who will actually come out and claim, I have no idea if Maguire's staying, but let's say Maguire's playing. I think that Maguire's performances also go up a level.
We don't say his name.
Slabhead. We'll call him Slabhead. I think the whole United defence has that confidence, knowing that they can play a higher line because they've got this guy who will actually come and collect. So yeah, if it happens, whether it's Onana, whether it's Costa, as long as it's someone who's comfortable coming out and sweeping, it's a signing United should have done a few years ago, because I think Staffy said it. Arsenal have got theirs, Liverpool have got theirs, City have got ours.
Even Brighton have theirs.
Yeah, exactly. Brighton.
Spurs are going for that, with the goalkeeper.
Exactly.
I don't know yet.
Chelsea are trying to get Mike Maignan from AC.
They got Kepa, man.
Yeah,
They're
so
right.
this is the way football's going and has gone for a number of years. United are finally getting to that point now. So yeah, brilliant signing if it happens.
Yeah, we just woke up.
Fair enough. You awoken the sleeping giant. Now, does anyone want to talk about Mason Mount, or is that just a situation where
Staffy?
I want
Let's
Staffy to talk about Mason Mount.
Let's
What
talk
is there?
about money, mate.
The amount of shows that I've been invited on to talk about Mason Mount.
I was on the show with you last night when we were talking about Mason Mount. You should just clip it and just play it. And
True. That's what I was thinking. I swear that's what I should do. I should just put something on my Twitter so people can just watch it on replay.
Yeah,
And
Staffy,
then you have it forever.
Is he Money Mace for you, or is he Mickey Mouse for you? Which one is it?
Mason Money Minerals Manchester Mount.
I actually hate Igal because the way he just asked me that question, he said, is he Money Mace or is he Mickey Mouse Mace? I'm not going to say either one. Listen, guys, Mason Mount is an amazing signing for us. He's absolutely what we need. We need legs in that midfield, which Eriksen doesn't have. So he's going to give us the legs that we need. This guy is amazing under press. Don't put me on the main screen. I don't like the spotlight being on me, especially on this stuff.
Put it on full screen again.
Don't do that. If you do full screen, I'm not going to talk. No, you can leave it as that. Okay, leave me in the middle. That's fine. He's the signing that we need. He's going to give us great counter press up that pitch. We did not need Caicedo because Ten Hag knows more than me. I'm just a YouTuber. I don't know what I want, or I don't know what the club needs. So he's the player that we need. This guy has a Champions League. He got an assist in the Champions League final. He won Player of the Year twice with Chelsea. So this guy is, what do they call him? What was all the nicknames that you said?
Well,
Ram, can you say it for me?
Mason Money Minerals Manchester Mount.
What this guy just said. Absolutely bargain at 60 million. What was it? Sorry, 55 plus. The incentives. Great signing for us. Absolutely what we needed. Let's go United.
Hold that, Flawless. You can hold that. Try to do it. Now you got
but the thing is,
why are we letting him
like, but do you not feel like I see you laughing a little bit, and I'm a bit like, it's not like, and I made the point yesterday on Hussam's stream was that Kovacic went to City, Mount's gone to United, Havertz has gone to Arsenal. Top 3 teams in the league last season have all taken a player off Chelsea. So I think Kovacic is arguably the one who's like, they all played in a dysfunctional team last season. Like I almost want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, but Havertz is probably the one that I give the least. Like, I feel he's done the least out of the 3 of them in the last 3 years. And he cost the most money, and he went to your team.
You want to know something? I think you're right. And the only way we're going to see the difference is because there's going to be a difference in profile and position. Where at Chelsea, majority of the time, he plays a 10 and a 9. Where at Arsenal, Arteta has identified him as a midfielder. He's called him a midfielder in his opening press conference. And if we're now going to change the conversation from Mason Mount, I think Mason Mount and Kai Havertz are going to play in the same position almost, where Mason Mount might be a little bit deeper, but Kai Havertz is going to be playing in that 8 role and also going to be drifting into the 10 at times. But his whole role is not going to be that guy who's at the top, the focal point. He's going to be more that guy who drifts in. Similar to the Champions League final where he scored the winning goal, he was the guy behind the striker. He was never the striker.
Okay. So what about Fabio Vieira?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Fabio Vieira has this year to prove that he's worth the money that we paid for, or else he's
I'm
gone.
glad we drifted.
Okay. Okay. Back to
We're not
Mount.
drifting. We're going back.
I don't think
We're going
there's
back.
much to actually spend time on Mount in detail, guys. Let's be
Nah,
honest.
man. No. I've got a question for Staffy. Yeah.
What
We're
more
talking about-
would you like me to say?
Ask the panel, Havertz or Mount, which one is the better value for money?
I'd rather have Mount.
I'd rather
Mount is
have
homegrown.
Havertz.
Mine is homegrown.
I think Havertz is fun. I still don't really know what he is as a footballer, and that excites me.
I like that. I like that.
I don't know why I said it like that.
He's Shizer.
I'd rather the
People say-
2-year Chelsea player of the season.
People say Shai Havertz has been evolved to Shizer Havertz.
If we
That's
sign
what-
Havertz, he can never score against us in the Champions League ever again. That's the logic.
What Havertz is giving to me is modern day Morata. Like that maybe he's going to retain his value and be a money laundering scheme for football clubs, because I think if you look at it, body of work, I think it's a huge leap of faith personally. Like, I've not even been that impressed whenever I've seen him for Germany. Like, he just
Oh, he's dead for Germany. He's dead.
it's almost like as if imagine if United bought Timo Werner. Yeah, when Werner was leaving Chelsea. That's what this is like. It's like, well, and then Ten Hag's like, I'm gonna get the most out of him. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's almost like everyone's just going along with it. And I understand it, but it's like hell of a risk.
Jay, if United signed Timo Werner, I think Staffy would actually give up on football. I swear to God.
Hey.
Look at him right now. He's like thinking about it. He's like, yeah.
Believe it or not, I actually rated Werner. I actually rated him. I thought he was a good player.
Let me ask you
There's no
guys
need to get defensive, man.
Let me ask you guys a quick question. What's left for your transfer window? Since we don't have a Chelsea guy here, is there even a point of going in and ripping on Chelsea guys? Because I feel like we could easily
It's
just
it's the same news that we're getting every single day. Caicedo. It's just the same.
Yeah.
Oh, there is one thing. Arsenal's linked to Tchouaméni. It's bullshit. It's never
They're
gonna
not
happen.
linked
No,
to
that's not-
Tchouaméni.
Egal,
They're not
it's
linked
not
to
true.
Tchouaméni, Egal. You're clickbait at this point.
Egal is not true. And the one that you said last week about, oh, we're not going to talk about Liverpool next week. Oh, look what happens. We talk about Liverpool next week. And it's a dead ass rumor as well. It wasn't even true, Egal. It was a dead rumor. No one believed it.
What about it? But Egal, what about?
What do you guys?
Can we circle back to that comment before when somebody said Jay was right about the top 6 last week? Because that clip was a lot. I didn't expect that clip to be so it was a lot. I had to mute it after a while, but I did try and explain to the Newcastle fans that one season in Champions League does not fundamentally alter people's perception of you yet. And
It's the manager.
It's the manager, it's the club, it's the overall, and yeah, look at it. Like, what's it? They missed out on both of their attacking targets. So let's see what happens.
Like prime example right here, Jay. Szoboszlai picked Liverpool because of Jurgen Klopp. That's it.
Hey,
It's
listen. I'm just, Newcastle have got a nice project, but it's just it needs a bit of seasoning. They're in the Mark Hughes phase of their growth. So, you know,
and that's why
I'm happy.
I'm just gonna quickly let's talk about this before we wrap up because there's 10 minutes left. Hamza's not here, but if you guys know, Hamza does his infamous calm down video where he says Arsenal's a small club. Declan Rice is gonna join Arsenal. This blah 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 blah. You know he does.
We
that.
take Hamza serious?
Yeah, we take Hamza serious.
when he talks about Liverpool, he's actually quite nice. So
yeah, you guys have a wank fest with each other. But I'm not gonna lie.
That was wild.
I personally
that was wild.
I always knew that we wanted Declan Rice more than City, but Nubbins, I was gonna ask you, what happened? Okay.
He's gonna be. I think he's gonna come in and come
Nubbins,
back
I was
out,
gonna
come
ask
out,
you,
come back in.
what do you think happened with the Man City situation with Declan Rice? Do you think it was just a situation where you had your value and you didn't want to go any higher, or do you think you never really were interested to that level in the first place?
We definitely were interested. Otherwise, we wouldn't have made contact with him and his camp, and we wouldn't have bothered to submit a bid. You know, City don't submit bids for vibes, no matter how much it's said on Talksport in that really weird, infamous clip that's been making the rounds. We definitely wanted him. I know, like, maybe he wasn't like the perfect fit for us, but I could see it working. I was really interested by it. And I think that, I think you said it, City have a track record, rightly or wrongly, whatever you think of it, City do have a track record of walking away from deals where they don't think it's value for money. They very rarely get involved in bidding wars. So I think that they base... Pardon?
Harry Maguire.
I said we don't talk about this stuff. I'm going on mute for the rest of the show just because that's your second strike.
But no, you're not wrong there. I mean, like him, he who shall not be named. Alexis Sanchez,
Jorginho,
Van Dijk as well. You know, like they don't all work out. Like Van Dijk was another player where who? Sorry,
Cucurella,
yeah, as well. Yeah, there's loads of examples.
To be fair, Nobbins, just sorry about cutting you off. Majority of them that you asked, that you walked away from, they didn't turn out to be hits. I'd argue Van Dijk obviously was a hit, but Jorginho's hit a little bit like on the fence. The rest of them was severe misses.
If Fred was in City's team, he'd look like a world beater.
Oh yeah, Fred! I forgot Fred.
Oh, Fred as well, yeah, of course. Yeah, I think that.
Do you not agree there, Staffy? If Fred was in a system like City's, he'd be amazing.
Most of these players, if they would have went to City, you would have seen the better side of them.
Yeah,
all of them chose money to come to United in worse circumstances, that we weren't even a better team at that time to make them better players, and that's why they all had worse careers. You can argue that Maguire would have had a career on the City. You don't know that because a lot of the players that they got when Pep first went in. Do you remember when Stones went in and everyone was slating them for paying 56 million at the time? And 56 million 6-7 years ago, that was a lot of money. And everyone was like, why is he paying that much money? But look at Stones now. I'm not saying Maguire would have been like Stones, but Maguire could have had a different career if he ended up going to City, because Pep would have found a way to use him where his deficiencies are not really that much exposed. And
I don't know,
he's just
Maguire,
one of...
I think Maguire and Otamendi have that same bozo gene. So if Otamendi...
No, Maguire does not have a bozo gene. He just sucks.
Wait, Otamendi got in the PFA team of the season. I'll have you know. That's my boy.
But he did have a bozo gene. Don't forget.
Yeah,
he did, but he's different than Maguire. Maguire
I
doesn't
say
really
bozo
do tackles.
gene. I would say I'm going to clamp you. I'm going to 2-foot you.
That is a bozo gene. Bozo gene is when someone runs at you and you're thinking about getting the ball and you don't care if you kill them.
No, but he didn't want to get the ball. He just wanted to clamp the player.
The Sheffield United game.
He's a Romero.
I'll never forget the Sheffield United game where Otamendi literally, the ball was coming to him. He just let the ball go by and the guy scored. I was like, what is he doing? I'm pretty sure it was against Sheffield United. You guys all remember the game I'm talking about.
I think I know you.
Literally, the ball's coming
It was his last season, too, something like that.
The ball's coming right to him. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Let it go.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. I watched him and Romero in the World Cup, and I really missed him. I was like, wow, I really miss watching Otamendi in the Premier League because he was comical.
He was hilarious.
Yeah, Otamendi.
You didn't know which one you'd get. What?
If he was at an Arsenal, he would be as bad as Mustafi. But because he was at City, you could see how his good side and his bad side.
He'd be like David Luiz ago.
David Luiz, the thing about David Luiz is he on his day is amazing. Big up Shaben here, Rain, for becoming a member. Shout out to you for joining the membership program. Big up John, big time channel member, always on the stream. Shout out to John. He's just laughing away, having a good time. But yeah, where were we?
Declan Rice and City. Yes.
Declan Rice and City.
Yeah. So I think that we had our. And I think that's also evidenced by, like, we clearly saw that Arsenal's bid got rejected for 90 million. So we tested the waters with another 90 million bid rather than just going all in. So we clearly had our valuation set out, and then Arsenal coming, with like 100, 105 million or whatever, and then immediately we go away. So we're like, right, would have been nice for 90 mil or whatever, but we clearly don't think it's going to be that important to us. And now I guess the question is just like, where do we go next, basically? And I think Rice has probably made the right decision, to be honest.
I've got to ask you, because I heard this on the terrace, and I'm a bit confused about this. Would you say Rice rejected you lot for Arsenal?
Here we go again.
No, because
people are obsessed with this topic.
Yeah, so I don't know where
they did.
Pardon?
I don't think he did.
No, he didn't. City would I mean, it's pretty straightforward. City don't put in bids for players who don't want to join them.
100%.
So,
Thank you for saying that.
and that's the end of it, really. We didn't put in a bid for Bellingham in the end. Clearly, he actually didn't want to join. We did put in a We did put in a bid for Rice. That tells you that we've had a chat. Look, did he still have a preference for Arsenal? That much is evident. That's been reported. But clearly, there was, even if it was only like a 40% chance, Rice was like, "Well, I'll tell you what. If Guardiola's treble winners come in for me, I'm going to think about it." So yeah. So I think that if we want to say who rejected who, I think that it was City who rejected West Ham's valuation more than anything else.
So you're saying City rejected the opportunity to sign Declan Rice rather than Declan Rice rejected City?
Yeah, exactly. Look, City didn't reject Rice, the person. They rejected West Ham's valuation of him because City wanted Rice, otherwise they wouldn't have bid for him.
Igal wants to hear so bad. Igal wants to hear so bad that Rice rejected City. He does not want to hear anything else.
Staffy, the one that he's
on
going
this
off,
since yesterday.
the one he's doing so badly and is annoying. Oh, Rice rejected Bayern Munich for Arsenal, and I'm like,
there's a weird obsession. There's a weird obsession with Arsenal fans, especially trying to get who rejected who. And Nubbins actually said it very perfectly. There's no way City would have not made 2 bids if Rice said from the beginning, because you still have to contact the player before you even make bids. So when they called him up, "Hey Rice, would you be interested in joining City?" No, okay, hang up the phone. That's it. There's no bidding war. However, they bid because he might have said, "Listen, I already agreed with Arsenal. I want to go to Arsenal, but I would also be open to going to City." Now, if you want to say, was Arsenal the first option? Yes, I do agree. I do think he preferred going to Arsenal for whatever motivation he had. He wanted to go there.
Yes,
however, there was no 2 bids from City that were made if he didn't want to go there.
Kim rejected United to go to Bayern.
I don't think United was serious.
Kim didn't reject United. He just was more keen on going to Bayern, and the United didn't really try for him that much. Like
I don't think you lot gave a damn.
They expressed interest in him. He said he would be okay, like he would be fine going to United, and that's it. They didn't really get into any serious negotiations. Bayern came for him, and I'm not gonna lie, I would rather go to Bayern than United anyway. So he didn't do the wrong decision.
But Messi is the GOAT. That's random, but does everyone agree Messi's the GOAT?
We're not about to have this time.
Sean Goater exists.
I'm tired of this, man.
Sean Goater exists.
Just to let you guys know,
Mason Mount exists.
Just to do a quick little plug. If you guys want a Messi freshener, it's only £6. £6 apparently. There you go. So check it out.
I heard it smells like goat.
There you go. Smells like.
Ideally, I don't want my air freshener being smelled like goat.
Status freshener, special Messi edition. There you go. Anyways, enough about that. Big up everyone in the comment section. I just want to ask you guys quickly, what do you guys think about Arsenal's transfer window so far? Timber, Declan Rice, and Kai Havertz. Does it move the needle for you guys? Does it move you at all? Because I'm excited.
No.
Not yet, just mainly because of the outgoings. If you would have added these 3 players, I would have been like, okay, that's very good. But I still need to see what's going to happen, especially with your midfield. I don't like the idea of Xhaka and Partey leaving and replacing them.
Partey's on 200K a week, and he might be a backup next season.
No.
Whatever
Why
it is,
would he be a backup? Why would he be a backup?
Xhaka's gone.
Oh, sorry, no, Partey, sorry. Why would he be backup?
Because it would be a situation where Declan Rice would be playing the 6, and we would have another midfielder in this window, plus Kai Havertz. So if we get Lavia, Declan Rice, and Kai Havertz, it kind of surpluses the requirements for Partey.
Where's Havertz playing?
What?
Where's Havertz playing?
Havertz going to play across the front 5.
The front 5?
Okay. Yeah, he means the box, and then they have the 2 in front. So
right, left, striker, 8 and 10.
Yeah, he could play anywhere.
No, 10-10, 2 10s.
Can he play anywhere?
He can't play 8.
He can be there.
Mikel Arteta is getting him in before the season starts to get him to get acclimatized to the change in position. Because he's been ruined by Chelsea.
Let it go, Miguel.
Any one of us take an attacker from Chelsea that's actually or a player from Chelsea that's any quality, we're going to see raising their levels. Kovacic is going to see his raise in his levels. Mount's going to see a raise in his levels. Havertz going to see a raise in his levels. I don't think what we've seen from them last year is indicative of who they are as players.
Mount is going to be our player of the year.
Hopefully,
I don't disagree there. I think Mount is a good player, and he could potentially be one of your best players next season.
Hopefully, I can.
I love how you let me off the hook for everything that I said about Mount. I think Nobbins is not buying it.
No, I let you off the hook
No
because
shot.
there's enough evidence on the internet to know.
Oh,
that
it's swirling around, Staffy. It's
but
already there.
Because someone in the comments said I'm on Copia, bro. I was like, he probably didn't watch me yesterday. That's why he doesn't understand why I said that.
All I'm
But
saying,
you understand
yeah,
how many people said I'm negative, bro? This is why I had to say that. I've been attacked since yesterday by so many people saying, you're negative. You're
No,
negative.
but you know
you're
the funny
negative.
thing is, Terry said the exact same thing as you.
Yeah, Terry said the exact same thing. However, Terry was being on that side
half
where
glass
like
full.
not just that, he's like, listen, the summer's still open. We don't know how it's gonna end, so I'm not gonna like panic already or whatever like you are. And I wasn't really panicking. This is not me panicking. This is me judging it based on what it is right now. Like for all we know, you could tell me relax because you could sign, I don't know, Rodri tomorrow. Yeah, but that's like never gonna happen. So it's like, why would I even like think of things in that way? You know what I mean?
Nobbins
Like,
would never let that happen.
no, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and imagine that we're gonna get world-class players, so it's okay. Don't panic
Frankie
because
de Jong.
you got.
You know what the best way is? Let's play a game. Okay, everyone here, from here on, what would you want your club to do? I would want another midfielder coming in, and if we make enough sales, potentially a fifth signing, and that fifth signing for me would be another defender. If Kieran Tierney and stuff are gonna leave, bring in another defender. But yeah, that's for me. What about you, Nobbins? What else would you want to bring in?
We need Gvardiol, and we need either a midfielder or
Give us a player.
no. That's the thing. I can't. I don't know. We've been linked to this guy from Celta Vigo, Vega, I think it's called. Never seen him. Haven't seen a minute of him play. But if we sign him, he's world class. Yeah, so either a midfielder or a winger, but I actually don't know.
Okay. What about you, my guy, Staffy? What are you saying?
Needs a whole squad from the sounds of things.
Ooh, I don't think you have enough time for me for playing this game.
His name
That's
position.
Like I literally just.
His name positions, please.
So additions, I would say we need Onana. I want Caicedo. I'm gonna say what I want. I'm not gonna say what we need because people get pissed when they think I know what we need. They say I don't know that well. So Onana, Caicedo, ideally Harry Kane. I don't think we'll get him, but since it's about what I want, I would say ideally Harry Kane. Those are the three starters that I want to bring in directly into that team. I do want to make some sales because we have a lot of players that are still on our payroll for whatever reason, and they shouldn't be a part of the squad. I don't want Maguire in this team anymore. I want to sort out. I'm not a big fan of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. People find that crazy when I say that. I just don't think he's good enough for us to play the way that we want to play. So I don't want him in the team. To be honest, I wanted him sold or as a backup, because people, they kind of, I kind of get the idea that he's very good at a certain attribute. So why wouldn't you keep him at least as a backup?
More just about incomings. More just about incomings.
I want a new right back. I think we need a new right back.
So
right back, goalkeeper, midfielder. A midfield and a second midfielder would be a backup because we don't have a proper cover for Casemiro. Like you can argue when Caicedo's in, yes, he will be playing in the same time as Casemiro.
But the market for defensive midfielders is bare.
There's a lot of young ones, and this is when recruitment starts to show. Because I don't need to know everyone that we're going to sign this summer. As fans, we don't know who our clubs are recruiting because there's an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, or a 20-year-old somewhere in Europe right now playing for a team who's really good that we don't know of because we don't watch him that much. But that's what recruitment is done. Like last season when we signed Malacia, not saying that Malacia is a world beater anyways, but no one knew who he was. It was our first signing, and it was a signing that the manager identified. I need more signings like this where the manager knows what he needs, and we're not going out there breaking the bank for it. I need those 10 million, 12 million, 15 million signings.
Going to Chelsea, bro.
Caicedo's going to Chelsea, but as I said, I'm saying what I want. I wanted Caicedo. And listen, people told me that the club's still in for Caicedo, so stop panicking. Why are you so worried that we got Mount? Relax, we're still going to get another midfielder. Well, if that's the case, then go get me Caicedo because that's what I wanted.
By the way, quick question, Nubbins. Sorry, I'm gonna. I just remember Daniel asked me something on Twitter earlier. He said, "How much is Bernardo Silva worth to you in today's market?" I said about 90 to 110. Do you think that's too little?
Well, I mean, to me, he's priceless. But if we have to put a fee on it, then yeah, it's got to be around that much because he's all basically unique as a player. He can play on the right of a front three. He can play midfield. He can be an auxiliary left back if you want. His skill set and profile, I don't know if you can really replicate that in any other player. None that I'm aware of, anyway. So yeah, we've got to, if we can keep it. I know he wants to leave, but if we can keep him, then that would be it would just be beyond perfect because I think he's irreplaceable.
Fair enough. Staffy, did you have anything else to say before we go? I'm gonna go to Ram after.
No, bro, no.
Fair enough. Arsenal, if we can get a striker in this window, it's not gonna happen. I think personally, we're gonna wait until next summer to spend big on a striker. Who knows? Victor Osimhen, Mbappe, somebody. We'll see. But right now, we got to dream big next summer for an attacker. This window, we're not getting an attacker. Ram, what are you saying? Mbappe for Salah?
First, Saudi Arabia needs to come in with a massive offer, then I could start negotiating. Like I said it before earlier in the stream, I said we need to get a 6/8. Ideally, for me, that would be Kefren Turam. I've always been a big fan of him, and seeing as though I saw Kone walk off the pitch in crutches, holding his knee, and I know he has previous injury history with his MCL. I'm sort of leaning away from him. And like I said, left sided centre back. For my first choice is Nico Schlosserbeck from Dortmund, but I don't think my club is going to be after him. So Inacio will probably be the next one.
We're linked to Inacio if Kieran Tierney goes.
Yeah, so we have to fight for that one. He has a release clause around about 38.5.
Yeah, we don't really need him like that. So you're probably going to get him. So center back, what else? Left sided center back, midfielder.
Midfielder. And if I wanted to be a perfect window, a backup right back. Well, Kyle Walker-Peters, basic's
Kyle Walker-Peters quality. Or yeah. Why is Livramento going to Newcastle for 13 million? Why isn't anyone else all over that?
I was again, same with Maddison, I'd stay away from Livramento because of his back-to-back ACL injuries.
Fair enough.
Oh, he had 2 ACL injuries? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it was back-to-back as well. It's the same one that Danny Ings had.
So Sunday, we're going to do vibes from the 6th, but Sunday we're going to talk about Newcastle and Chelsea because I felt like we didn't spend any time talking about those two clubs.
I'm looking forward to it.
And I'm not going to lie to you, whoever comes on for Chelsea, they're going to have to be back in Chelsea because they're going to.
Staffy is a bit concerned that I just throw fires everywhere.
Anyways,
if I see a Newcastle fan on Sunday, oh my God.
Anyways, guys, we're out of here, people. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Don't know. Is it that? Yeah, we are linked to him, but it's more like, you know, those links that we're interested in a player that 2 other people are also interested in. One of those ones.
Yeah.
Just get thrown in. CT gets thrown in. Man United get thrown in all the time. But yeah, we're out of here, people. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. We've gone for an hour and 40 minutes almost. Big up Nubbins for coming on. Big up my guy Staffy. Big up Ram for coming on. And of course, Jay also for coming on. And all of you guys for watching. I appreciate it. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll be back tomorrow with a West Ham fan. I'm going to have Dan Lawless on. We're going to talk about Declan Rice. And Kesh might be making his return. So stay tuned to that. And we'll be back for Vibes for the 6 on Sunday. And Monday, I'll have Adrian Clark from the Arsenal website. Peace out.